Hello students, this is Mr. Rigo. I'm going to go over a few math problems with you from the Monday part of the vacation packet. I hope you did it already, and now you can check a couple of your answers. Alright, so when you start each day's vacation packet for math, it gives you a little lesson preview. So I highly recommend reading through this carefully. This one's about place value and expanded form, word form, standard form is just the number. So it tells you like an introduction that you can use in order to solve the rest of the problems. So please make sure you're not just jumping to the problems, like actually read what's in this box at the beginning so that you know how to solve the problems. Alright, I'm going to jump all the way to number 12. So for number 12, it says, the number of tourists who visited a national park in one day was 39,012. Write this number in two other ways. Well, we've got to write it in two other ways. This way is word form, or written form. So we've got word form right here. 39,012. So let's write this in standard form. 39,012. Alright, so standard would be 39,000. And remember, this comma is like the word thousand. If you can see it, there we go. 39,012. Am I just going to write a 12 here? 39,012? Does that look okay? No, this is terrible. 39,012. This is why we should make a place value chart, so you don't make this kind of mistake. So for every one of these problems, it'd be really smart to make a place value chart. You could have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, because this one does go up to the 10,000s place, and I could put in my number. 39,012. I have 12 ones, right? What about the hundreds place? Can I just leave it blank? Of course not. You gotta put a zero in there, right? That zero is like a placeholder. It's really important. If you don't have that zero in here, you've got this weird number instead of this correct number, okay? So we've written it in standard form now. But we need to write it in two other ways. We've got word form up here, standard form, 39,012. And now we can look at this place value chart to help us figure out how to write this in another way. Let's write it in expanded form. So in expanded form, I've got three 10,000s, right? So that's 30,000 plus, again, refer back to your place value chart, 9,000s. 9,000. Zero hundreds. I don't have to write anything. I don't have any hundreds. There's zero. 110. Well, there's 10. And two ones. There's two. So I've written it now in standard form and expanded form. So I've answered the question. I've got two other ways than just word form. But let me show you one other way. So it's very similar to expanded form. There is expanded notation. So let's go one step further. And so expanded notation, in my opinion, is actually easier than expanded form, because you just look exactly at your place value chart and you can see how to write it. Three 10,000s. So it's 3 times 10,000. 3 10,000s. 3 10,000s. Plus 9,000s. Well, it's 9 times 1,000. I got 3 10,000s, 9,000s. 3 10,000s, 9,000s. I don't have any hundreds. You could add 0 times 100. That's okay. And it might show you that sometimes. Or you could just skip it because you don't have any. And I have 110. So it's 1 times 10. And then finally I have 2 ones, which is 2 times 1. So now we've got it written actually not just two other ways, but three other ways. We've got standard form, with just a regular number, expanded form, like so, and then expanded notation. Remember, make the place value chart. The place value chart will help you make sure you get everything correct in a problem like this, right? And don't forget your place value holders, which are zeros. You can't just leave the spot empty, or else you end up with a weird number like this instead of a correct answer like this. Alright, so let's look at one more problem. So after the first part of your packet, the second part is a big mix of problems. And these problems, we've studied like all of these problem types before. Every once in a while there'll be like one random problem in there that we may have not studied that type of problem before, but it's very seldom. Like generally, we've studied every one of these types of problems before, so this is all review. But if you have any questions about it, first try to figure it out on your own, of course. But then you can ask your parent, or you can ask me. You guys can Blooms me, and I will try to respond as soon as I can. Alright, so let's look at one about fractions. Let's look at number 5 down here with the worms. And again, this was from yesterday, so you should already have these done. Just double checking. So for number 5, it says, each number line represents a length of 1 yard. Which model shows a worm that is 3/8 of a yard away from 0? We've got a question, so we need an answer statement. So blank shows a worm 3/8 of a yard away. Alright, 3/8 is the key fraction here. We're looking for one that shows 3/8, and when we're doing fractions, what do? I hope you just said it. Count, unit fraction, count again. Alright, let's start with the first one. We count. Do we count our tick marks or our spaces on a number line? Hopefully you just said spaces. Alright, so I make my little fraction strip. I'm counting my spaces now. I'm not counting the tick marks. Don't count the tick marks, you count the spaces. How many spaces do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. That means my unit fraction is 1/7. And now I can count again to see where the worm is. How many sevenths away from 0 is this? It's 1, 2, 3. It's 3/7 away from 0. But since we have a number line here, let's label our tick marks too, just to make sure we counted correctly and that we are actually getting the right fraction here. So 0, well, that's 0/7, and then 1/7, 2/7, 3/7, 4/7, 5/7, 6/7, 7/7. You want to make sure you're at 7/7 at the end, because this is supposed to be one whole. So if you only have 6/7 or you've got 8/7, well, then you didn't count your spaces correctly. You might have counted your tick marks instead and found the wrong number, right? So make sure that at one whole you actually have an entire thing, right? 7 divided by 7 equals 1. You've got all 7 out of 7 should be 1. Well, now you can see, well, this worm is at this point, which is 3/7. But is 3/7 3/8? Of course not. 3/7 is 3/7, 3/8 is 3/8. It's different. This is wrong. Alright, let's go to B. Well, B, again, count spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unit fraction is 1/4. You can label your tick marks again. 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Yep, we've got them all. So we counted correctly. This 4/4 is one whole. And this point is at 3/4. 3/4 is not 3/8, right? Fourths are twice as big as eighths. This worm is twice as far from 0 as the 3/8 worm would be. So this is wrong. Next one, count my spaces again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 here. Again, look, we already know this is wrong because we've got 6 and it's looking for eighths. However, you might think that, but you got to be careful, right? Because maybe there's some sort of equivalent fraction here. Let's check. 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. All right, we counted correctly. 3, 6. There's no equivalent fraction here. This is 3, 6. 3, 6 is not equivalent to 3/8. This is wrong again. Well, it's looking bleak. Look at the last one. It's got to be right, right? Let's count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8. That means our unit fraction is 1/8. So that's good news because we're looking for 3/8. So finally, we have one with a unit fraction of eighths. So bodes well. 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. Should I stop now because I see 3/8? The worm's at 3/8. Should I stop? No, you got to go all the way because maybe I counted wrong. Maybe I was counting the tick marks. 8/8. No, I counted correctly because I've got one hole here. I've got the whole thing. I've got 8 out of 8. So this one is correct. Worm's at 3/8 right here. My answer is D. Hooray. Alright folks, I will put up another video about Tuesday's packet tomorrow. Hope you enjoy this. Make sure you are washing your hands and doing as much math as humanly possible. Okay? Grow your brains. Just because we're not in school doesn't mean you can't learn. So keep on learning. Bye.